Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DIY and on this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can take some of these Dollar Tree wood shapes in this size or even in this size and make them into some really cute pieces of art using painter's tape, acrylic paint, and either these 6x6 stretched canvases or one of these 12x12 wood panels. So this is a super easy project and I think it's really fun. I think it would be fun to have a whole wall of different shapes for summer and maybe just use a color theme to tie it all together. Anyways, as you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. So I'm going to tell you where everything came from. All right, I am using today just a variety of inexpensive craft paint that I've picked up everywhere. I mean, a lot of it is from Walmart because I love this brand, Waverly. But I have some apple barrel, what is this one? Yeah, so it's just a variety of craft or acrylic paint in whatever color you want. You're gonna need some painter's tape. That's how we're gonna create our shapes. And then you're gonna need whatever kind of wood pieces you want from Dollar Tree. And then I'm using these canvases that I picked up. I think I picked these up at either Walmart or Hobby Lobby. They're 6x6 and they're the fat kind of canvas that can sit up on their own, which I love these. Or you can use one of these 12x12 wood panels. And if you have a Dollar Tree Plus store, I know not everywhere has them, but this one that I'm working on was $3 at my Dollar Tree Plus store. So let's get started and feel free to sprinkle, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm going to even show you how I tape. So this is the start of a project, and to do this, this piece, I don't want you to see this bottom part here because I haven't gotten to that yet, but this is 12x12. So what I did was I used my painter's tape in two thicknesses. I measured where it's 6 inches and that was going to be the center of my project, and I put a piece of tape on either side of the 6 inches. So the stripes on this one are 2 widths of painter's tape, okay? And then I just painted this with navy blue paint. Okay, super easy. I didn't paint the actual wood panel because I wanted this natural wood color to show through. So that's how you do that one. However, for a smaller canvas, I don't think the scale would be right to do such thick stripes. So let's see, where can I put this? Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is a 6x6. It's just a inexpensive stretch canvas. I do like these chunkier ones because they'll stand up on their own. I am going to pull off 3 long pieces of tape, and I'm just going to take them to my table. It might be too long, I don't know. They probably are way too long. Okay, and then I'm going to eyeball what is the center of this 6x6. You could measure if you wanted, but I don't think that's absolutely necessary. And also don't worry if you're not exactly straight. Okay, so this is the first piece of tape that's going to go on, and I'm going to wrap it all the way around the edges and onto the back. Okay, and then as I was working on this project, what I discovered was that it's nice to have some tape markers to help you with spacing. So I just have these little pieces of tape that I'm going to lay on either side of this. I'm not really even pushing them down that much, but this is my spacer that'll show me where, can you guys see that? Where the next piece of tape will go. And then I'll take that spacer off, put this down really good as I can get it. We'll come back and push the edges, and then I'm going to take my other piece of tape and put it right here, and then I'll pull my spacer tape off. I hope that makes sense. I'm really more of an eyeball it kind of a person, but if you are the type that likes to measure, you can absolutely do that. I just didn't feel like it. Okay, so I have my tape on, and the areas that are not covered in tape are the areas that we're going to paint. So let's just make sure that all of our edges are down really good. I think it looks nice to paint the edges of your canvas too. Okay, so we are not fancy here at DiyDreaming, and we are going to paint on top of a paper plate so I don't have to clean up. And we're going to paint from a paper plate. And I have a ton of different color choices. Let's do this one. It's called Lagoon. It's some of this Waverly acrylic no prep paint that I love so much from Walmart. And I'm just going to pour some of it on my little paint that I'm plate that I'm going to be painting from, and I'm getting a cruddy brush. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy. And I have found that it's easier if you start with the edges. And you can hold on to your piece where the tape is. So if you do all of your edges first and then do your front, that is easier. And then you're going to want to take your tape out. This is just how I do it. I mean, you might have different methods, but I am going to take my tape off when my piece is, maybe 80% dry. Not completely dry, but not still completely wet, because I don't want to stick my fingers in a wet paint spot and get it on the areas that are supposed to remain white. And you can do this whole back too if you want. If I was doing this as a gift, I would make the back of it look as neat as possible. But this is for me, or it's probably just a demo to show you how to do it, so I'm not going to fuss with painting the back. Oh, I see lots of people on. Okay, so just to review, if you're hopping on, you can come back and watch this whole video from the start if you want after I'm not live anymore. But I'm using these canvases that are 6x6. They're the chunky stretch canvases. These came either from Walmart or Hobby Lobby, I can't remember. They're only, I usually wait till they're on sale. They're only a couple dollars a piece when you do it that way. So maybe the set of 4 that I showed you just a few minutes ago, maybe that was $10 or $12. And then when you divide it by 4, so I've done all my edges, you get like just a couple dollars per canvas. All right. I cannot even tell you how many wipes and paper towels I burned through today because, and some of the paint that's on my hands, it's just no way, it's never coming off because I've had my hands in paint all day long. Okay, now we're going to paint the front. And I'm just doing one coat but you can do as many as you want, depending on how pigmented your paint is, or if it looks like it needs a second coat, then go ahead and do that, but do that before you pull up your tape. Okay, I think I have everything pretty much covered, and I'm just going to set this aside for a minute, and I'm going to show you how we're going to paint whatever shape you want to use depending on the size that you need. Walmart or Dollar Tree always has some of these great shapes. This one came in a set of 3 and they're mermaid tails. I'm going to paint this side of it, and just to make it easy, I'm going to use this same what is this color called? Lagoon paint to paint this little mermaid tail. This is nothing, no rocket science or anything complicated about this. And they just, oh my gosh, they just look so cute when you get them on something striped. And then of course, I'm going to show you how to do some little doodly-doos that just make the project absolutely adorable. I think the doodly-doos are everything. Okay, so here is my little mermaid tail. All right. I'm going to let these be drying for a few minutes and then we'll come back to them. Okay, before I went live, I did this. It's that same canvas and I used black. It's called Ink Waverly Acrylic No Prep Paint. You can use any black craft or acrylic paint you want. It does not have to be this brand. And I did the tape exactly the same as I just showed you on this turquoise piece. And when it was 80% dry, I pulled the tape off. It's 100% dry now, okay? And also I painted a couple of shapes before I came live so that I would have something ready to go. I honestly think this mermaid tail would be adorable on this one. And I might get my dryer out and dry that because I think that would be the cutest option. Let's do that. This summer, Dollar Tree has had the cutest wood shapes. Oops, I don't want that to be in that paint. Almost dry. Okay, we're going to do some doodly-doos on the outside of this, and we're also going to do some doodly-doos on this. And I see a spot where there's a big glob of paint. Get that dry. Okay, so what I'm going to be using today are these markers. They come from magnoliadiy.com. They come in a set of 8. I've lost one, and I can't remember what color it was. But, so this is not the whole entire set. But these are ink, and let me tell you what that means. They're ink, so you could use these on fabric, and if you heat set it with an iron, then it would, once it was dried, then it would be permanent and washable, all right? But in this instance, you can also use these ink markers on canvases and wood panels too. They work just fine for that purpose. They don't dry quite as sticky as the ink in a pot from Magnolia would. So these will work. If you have the chalk paste marker set, you could use that too. Either one, but for today, I'm using this one because this is what I had out and because I want this gold color. So I want the gold and the black. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna do some little doodly-doos on this little mermaid. In black, but we might add a little gold to it also. And I'm going to prime my pin. These come with 2 tips. There's a chisel and then there's a round, and you just pull it out and stick it back in according to which side you want. I am going to use the round. That's the one I mostly use. And I'm just going to do a line and then a dot dot. What I love about this idea is it's just so imprecise that you don't have to even draw straight. It's just super easy. Can you see what I've got going on so far? It's going to be adorable. Okay, let's do this other side. And I'm going to use my heat gun to dry it. Don't want to stick my fingers. You might have to come and prime your pin just a little bit as you're going along, which is just a matter of pushing it down, and that will get the ink to start flowing out of the tip. Okay, you could do 100 different designs. This is just what I chose to do. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's do this. Dollar Tree does also have some stretch canvases. They're thin, they're not chunky like this, but you could try or practice or use one of those if you wanted to. Okay, my thought was to use the gold marker, and this is just personal preference. You do what you like. I'm going to do some little squiggle dot dot dot, I think. Yeah, around the edge of this. And squiggle, dot, dot, dot. That's what I do a lot. This is something that I kind of picked up way back when my kids were little and I was a scrapbooking maniac. I took pictures of every single moment of my kids' life. And I scrapbooked all of them. And I did a lot of dot, dot, dots on my scrapbook pages and a lot of squiggly lines and anyways. There is nothing that you need to know how to do this technique. And look how much it adds. Well, I'm going to show you the option to use these other shapes as well. So it might look better if everything had the same colored ink on it. Okay, when you're getting towards the end, just be careful not to put your fingers in your ink. Dun, dun, dun. Is that adorable or what? I think it's pretty darn adorable. Okay, so let's set this aside, and we could use this one, but let's look at some of these other shapes if I use the gold ink pen from magnoliadiy.com. And if you have not watched this channel, this DIY Dreaming with Hiedi Scott very long, then you probably haven't seen what a crazy ... squiggler I am. I use these markers all the time for all kinds of different projects, and I want to just show you a couple. This was something that I made a good while ago. You can see I did dots around that petal. On this one, I did an outline, and then I did dots. I did dots on this butterfly. I did dots on this butterfly. And this was all done with the same gold ink marker that I'm using right now. Here's another example, except this is canvas stuck, fabric stuffed, and I was using the white ink marker, and I just did line, dot, 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 line, dot, dot, dot. So I have 100 other projects where I've used these same markers, and I think they're a great investment in your crafting closet. I'm going to try just outlining this. We'll see how that works. Oh yeah, this is cute. So in case you're wondering, ink pens have the black body, but when you're talking about paste, chalk paste versus ink ones have the white lid. I don't know why they did that. It's kind of flip-flopped. But we're using ink today because the ink set has a gold, and that's what I wanted, was the gold. So you could use, if you have the chalk paste markers, you could definitely use those, or you can use the ink for this project. These pens, when they dry, they don't tend to dry sticky like regular, how am I going to hold onto this? Like regular ink in a pot. It's meant really just for ceramics and fabric because it has to be heat set or else it will remain sticky. And once you heat set it, then it will be permanent. But when you're talking about these little markers, they are okay. They don't seem to be very sticky. So you can use the ink on a project that is not just fabric. And now that that's clear as mud, I've probably confused you enormously. Look how cute that is. And we could add I mean, you can do absolutely whatever you want to do. Okay, so let me dry this, and we'll dry the tail just to make sure they're dry. And then I'll show you on this black and white one. And then we're going to move on to the dragonfly and the butterfly on this bigger wood panel. I'll tell you all about that. So what I started to say in the beginning is I think this would be a super cute idea to do 2 or 3 little different size canvases and then maybe do a big wood panel. You could put it all on the same wall and you could kind of use all the same colors just mixed up. Some of the turquoise for stripes, some of the turquoise for the little shape, and use different colors. I think it would be adorable. And anyways, here's one example of what this could look like. It would be super cute just sitting on your shelf also. What do you guys think? Or here is the smaller one that is an anchor. Personally, I think I like the anchor because it's the right size for this canvas, and also I like the gold with the gold, but that's totally personal preference. Let's go ahead and just quickly put a couple blobs of glue on the back of this and let me tack it. Uh-oh, I got the wrong glue gun out, darn. This is my fabric one, and I want regular hot glue gun, so I'll have to give it a few minutes to do that. Darn. Okay, so let's move on. And I could do this one. This would be super cute too. This is just a little seahorse. See how cute that would be as well. We could outline this one. In fact, when I'm done here, I will do that and I'll get pictures of these in all different combinations. So I won't glue them down just yet. Also, we'll do this one, which is still pretty wet, but I want to show you how to take the tape off in a few minutes. Okay, before I came live, I painted this. This is a wood panel, $3 from the Dollar Tree Plus store that is near my house. You can get these wood panels at any craft store. I just happen to like to get them at Dollar Tree because they're only $3. In my store is a Dollar Tree Plus, just to make that clear. But you can get something like this everywhere, and there's 2 sides that you can do. So I use the tape, 2 thicknesses of it, to make my stripes. That makes sense, right? And I used this really pretty, just to be different, this navy blue color that's called Deep Navy from Apple Barrel. 1 coat. I didn't paint the unfinished part. I left that au naturel, okay? And I painted this butterfly shape, this pink color. I don't love it that much. And I painted this butterfly, this light colored paint from Waverly that's called Pool. And what I'm in process of doing is outlining the edges of it. And I'm going to also do these squiggles and dots around the edge of this wood piece. So I've gotten started, and of course you could do a ton of different designs, whatever, which way do I want to go? Whatever appeals to you. And you could do this in white, black, pink, green, blue, red. Every now and again, you're going to want to prime your pen. So I see there's a good amount of people on here. If you guys like this project, I would love it if you would consider sprinkling this video to your Facebook page, or if you're in a crafting group that allows that. Don't sprinkle this to a craft group if they don't want craft videos to be sprinkled there. But otherwise, I would love it if you would consider doing that for this video. My squiggles are not all the same length, and my dots are not all the same size, and they're not perfectly straight either. So this is a good project if you're perfectly imperfect. If you're okay with not having everything be symmetrical or, you know, perfectly spaced, which I'm totally okay with that. To me, crafting is good for my mental health and my body health and a lot of things. And so I want to enjoy it. And when I require myself to do everything perfectly, then it's not fun. So if you're holding on to that perfection thing, I encourage you to let that go. I never know exactly what my project is going to end up like when I start either. Okay. So look how cute that is. I love it with this navy blue paint. Okay, and let's work on this dragonfly, which I painted one coat of that pool colored paint on it. And I'm just using this same ink marker from Magnolia DIY.com to outline it. I'm not requiring my lines to be all the same thickness. I'm just kind of following the edge of this wood cutout of a dragonfly, which I think is so super cute. And it came, I picked this up, these dragonflies, when I was in Idaho and Oregon visiting my youngest son this last week. You could also outline, you know, the circles, but I think that might get a little complicated. So I'm just going to do this dragonfly's body. So you could use these ink markers on a tea towel or a pillow or a t-shirt. And as soon as the ink is completely dry, you would heat set it on your fabric using a hot iron set on cotton, no steam, for 3 or 4 minutes. You can do the front and the back, and then it will be permanent. So these are a good, I think they're a good investment because there's so many different things that you can do with them. And I use mine all the time. I've had the same set for probably over 2 years. This is what they look like. Okay, here is our little dragonfly. And this is what I would propose. I think it would be absolutely adorable. Hold it by one of the little antennas. What do you guys think? Do you like that? Okay, so the dragonflies, I'm seeing some questions about that. The dragonflies I'm using are from Dollar Tree. They're in the wood shape department. And they look like this. They're pretty basic, nothing super fancy about them. They also had, in the same section, they also had these butterflies and these stars, which could be cute on here too if you painted it. I opted to do this combination right here, and I would use a combination of hot glue and some E6000 to attach our dragonfly to our wood board, and I think it could be pretty cute. What do you guys think? Do you like it? So, okay, the last thing I want to do, and again, these are the markers that I'm using. They come in a set of 8. They're ink markers from magnoliadiy.com. There's one more color in it because it's a set of 8, but I can't find it. And I can't remember what that other color was. It might have been orange. I'm not sure. It's here somewhere in my mess of crafting supplies, I'm sure. Okay, I wanted to show you how to take the tape off of this little square that we painted, which it's mostly dry at this point. Try not to get your fingers in any of the wet tape if possible, but you're basically just going to pull the tape off. And can you believe how great just a little painter's tape does to create this look? So we could, looking around, I mean, we could have done something like this on here. There's just 100 different things that you could do. You could even do this one that is the same color and do gold or black or white or whatever appeals to you. So that is what I wanted to show you. I hope that I gave you some ideas of different projects that you could do that would be super easy. If you have questions, let me know that in the comments. Let's see, let me push this stuff over so you can maybe see it. If you have questions, let me know. If you want a link to the pins, let me know that too. The canvases, the little stretch canvases, the measurement is 6 by 6. This wood panel, the measurement is 12 by 12. There's nothing special about any of the paint that I used. It's just acrylic or craft paint from Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Dollar Tree, wherever you like, Walmart, you like to get your paint. And the shapes are from Dollar Tree. And the painter's tape, of course, is from everywhere. There's no special brand. This is Scotch Blue, but anyways, I hope you liked this project idea and that it got your wheels turning. And if you decide to make something like one of these, I would love to see pictures. And I would love for you to share those over at Dreamy DIY, which is the group that I set up for all of us to share craft project ideas. So if you haven't joined that group yet, it's free. It's Dreamy DIY. There's a space in between those two words. Just answer the questions when you go there, and myself or my administrator will approve you, and then we want to see what you're doing. Alrighty. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. If you have questions or need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.